Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these coins. We're just going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum on this one, and if I have time, because it's my daughter's first birthday, so she's asleep at the moment, so I don't feel like I'm neglecting her on her birthday, just in case that's what you were wondering. So I'm just going to whiz through this one, but tonight I will be doing a live stream for Patreon members, provided everybody's in bed, but everything should be fine. 8:30 tonight anyway. Right, so let's have a look then. Bitcoin breaking down yesterday. So we kind of, it wasn't yesterday's video, the day before, when we saw that we had a closure beneath this Bollinger Band, I was saying that Bitcoin is at this point, looking a bit droopy, and I suppose the way to play it would be to short from resistance at this point. And the only reason I say that is not because I'm not bullish on the macro trend. It's because we're basically close below the center of the Bollinger Band. When it comes to things as simple as that, it's about what's most likely, and we're more likely to stay within the area of the Bollinger Band that we're within. So if we're above it, we're more likely to stay above it. If we're below it, we're more likely to stay below it. So it did kind of suggest that we were going to stay below it, but that was one significant dump now, and one that's probably going to take a little bit more of a downwards trend, in my opinion. I think that, like I say, rules are 65% more likely to stay within that zone of the Bollinger Band, and now we're getting a bit of a slope on there, a little bit of a curvature, so it would suggest that the downtrend is more likely. I'm not expecting anything significant as far as breaking out and going to an all-time high or anything like that. I'm more looking for, I suppose, a downwards trend. So that's very much tradable, especially because I've got this pitchfork that I've put in here from a few days back, well, maybe more than that I suppose now, and we've been respecting this roughly speaking. So we had supports here, resistances, supports, and not so much resistance here, breakdown from that area here, support to that level there, and now we're in the second to bottom area. So where's it going to go from here? Well, I'm going to trust the pitchfork first of all, which would mean that we might struggle to even get past 32,500. Today. This bounce so far, although it might feel significant, it's really not that good. It's what at the moment a 10%. From the bottom to the top. Where did we fall? Down to 28,900 or thereabouts on spot. So in that respect, it's it's okay, but that was a significant pullback, in the space of a day, in the space of a 24-hour period, an 18% move all the way down. So that sort of thing is, it's not out of the ordinary for Bitcoin. Everybody, I suppose, recently, all the new members of Bitcoin have seen it go up phenomenally, but it does come down pretty aggressively too. So what are we going to do is the question. Well, to be honest with you, as far as I'm concerned, there is method to this so far, and also, the bull trend isn't technically over yet. This is a consolidation trend. It's not a bubble pop. So one thing I showed yesterday on the video is that when we're going to look for an opportunity to really get excited would be, first of all, the pitchfork breakout. But one other thing we can look at would be this, which is the money flow index on the weekly. So we've had previous bubble pops, which was here 2017, here 2019 top, and here would look very much like it's our a definite local top, maybe one that's not going to get broken for quite a while actually, but we'll see how it goes. Now I'm looking for this to come back down to retest this trend line here, so this time round it was very nice and staggered approach, and then we did obviously blow off at the top here. So I would say wherever the price may be at the time that this falls back down onto the trend line would likely be the actual bottom for Bitcoin before it starts to reverse its trend. That would be only one of the indicators to suggest that would be the case. Not the indicator, just one of them. It would help me feel a bit more confident in saying that the bottom is in when that takes place. Now this doesn't have to just go all the way down. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a staggered approach. This is a weekly, so it's going to be extremely lagging, massively lagging indicator. This started, this particular trend started October, and I suppose just ended only just recently in January. So that's been going on for quite a while now. The whole fourth quarter of last year really. So I'm not expecting it to take that long to reset. Maybe a month maybe 6 weeks or so for it to completely reset down to this trend line, and then I'd be a bit more confident in saying that the bottom is in. So for the moment, we're basically playing bounces. Money flow index really taking a hit actually here, and actually we could probably draw a trend line in here. It would only be very rough. It is a money flow index, so we have broken down beneath this trend line. So in a sense, I would be looking for this to actually get bought up okay for the moment. And that would kind of make sense, again, your money flow index, it's not like the RSI. This accounts for volume opposed to price, so the volume is clearly taking a massive hit here, and lack of volume is not going to increase price, especially at these levels. Another aspect of this is that it's become a bit of a self-defeating prophecy for Bitcoin. So I've been calling for this Altseason for I suppose it's been going back maybe a couple of months now, saying that the Altseason's due around mid to late January, and hopefully into February should if this what I'm going to show you now comes to fruition. So it's very difficult to pinpoint an actual Altseason, especially so far back in time. Alt seasons are usually a result of the Bitcoin dominance dropping, but I kind of anticipated this before that happened. So it's not because I've got any kind of particular skill that no one else could have. What I'd done is I'd browsed through a vast amount of altcoins from top but specifically mid to low caps, and what they all seem to suggest is the same kind of timing, that they would all be ready for a setup around mid to late January. And we've already started to see, I suppose, the beginnings of an alt season, but the alt season will really kick off if we break down beneath this support here. Now, as you can see, we've found support on it, and so Bitcoin might not be stronger than most altcoins, but it's stronger than it was a few days ago in comparison to the Satoshi pairings, because we're getting this bounce here. If this were to break down, it would be complete opposite. So when I say it's a self-fulfilling defeating prophecy, is that what happens is there's often a rotation. So when we come up to these high levels, then the rotation is that the money will leave Bitcoin, go into altcoins, and that's basically what's been happening. There's been profit taken as well, but I think this rotation plus the profit taken has happened at such a fast rate, because the gains for these altcoins over this last week have been phenomenal. I mean, my FET AI and Ocean Protocol, both of those basically did a 2x in a 1 week candle. You look at those candles, I mean, it's a little bit less now, but they went up 100% in a week. So, and that was just those two. You look at these other coins like Polkadot and things, they're doing 3 or 4x's. I lose count basically because there's so many great setups. Now these are reasonably decent coins, high to mid and not so much low caps, but the real alt season will begin when the low caps really start to kick off, and that will happen if this 200 exponential breaks down. If we break down below here, then that would be it. So at the moment, I'm looking for this, I suppose, a bounce for Bitcoin more than anything, and maybe Ethereum is going to have to pull its stocks up, because Ethereum is going to lead the charge on this. And if we're looking at Ethereum, on this chart on its own, at its very bare bones, it's being rejected from the center of the Bollinger Band. So it's not a good sign, I should say. It's not a good sign. Reclaiming this would be a good sign, but for the moment, now it's just like what Bitcoin was a few days ago. The odds are against it because it's beneath the center of the Bollinger Band. Now this is, this daily hasn't closed yet. This is a brand new daily, but this daily candle did close beneath it, and now it would appear that we're being rejected from it. So I'm not, I'm going to reserve some of my optimism for this at the moment, considering the way that these often play out. The rules are, but it is very simple. Bollinger Band is a very simple tool to use. It's the most, I'll probably say it's the most obvious tool to use for any trader. It's kind of a standard. I don't even class it as an indicator as such. It's just a staple part of a chart, really, for me. And because of that, I would have to say that if we do not reclaim this center of the Bollinger Band by the end of today, then alt season may be postponed. And Bitcoin dominance will increase, and that basically means that the market will basically follow Bitcoin. There was a glimmer of hope in Ethereum that Ethereum would lead the way for a new, I suppose, leader for the altcoin market, or the crypto market in general. but at the moment it doesn't look like it wants to do that. But it's very early. It's like 9:45 in the morning. We've got a long day ahead of us. But if we do not reclaim this and we close below this level, so we're calling it 1,180. If we close below there, then I would expect continuation from this also. This is too early to create any kind of pitchfork in there because we don't have enough price action to do that kind of thing. But let's have a look at some of these moving averages, and we'll have a look at the weekly money flow index as well. Again, that's high, but it's not the highest. We're in the safety period as well. I wouldn't really be too concerned about the way that this looks. In all fairness, I could actually argue that there may even be some structure to it still, but it's this isn't an exact science. Everybody knows that, but there could be a chance that this will push up. But for the moment, it's a very early days, so it's very difficult to say anything about it until at least we get today's candle close. But yeah, let's play this bounce up. We'll see where we go from there. This could have continuation. Everybody wants to buy the dip, don't they? So, but as far as the chart's concerned, I would expect a consolidation to continue. Obviously with some significant bounces, but then also drops along the way. Nothing is yet, in the bag. We do have what people would consider to be an oversold RSI back down here, which could end up playing a bigger bounce. But when it comes to RSI being overbought and oversold, I'm never really one to play that onto itself. But yeah, at the moment we're stuck within this area here, being rejected from this area here. So let's just see how this one plays out. Again, I'm looking more on the lines of consolidation at the moment than I am for any kind of significant breakout to all-time highs. But it's early on in the day. Let's see how we go. Anyway, thanks for watching, and join my Telegram for the free chat. Join my Patreon for the live stream, and hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.